the beauty of Star Atlas is so many different genres that you could head with this. Like literally, like if you think about the full game when it's out, you will be able to do whatever you want. That's the true definition, I think, of the metaverse. Star Atlas will have everything that you want, whether you want to play a first-person shooter or whether you want to just explore in your spaceship, if you want to go to a live concert or a social event, if you want to do mining and crafting and base building. Star Atlas has it all.
Star Atlas is about to have a massive 2023, and we're going to get into all the things that they're going to be releasing this year in this podcast, including jetpacks, multiplayer racing, and multiplayer dogfights. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Metaverse podcast. I am your co-host, Atlas Theory, here with the other co-host. What's up, dude? This is R-Type.
Yeah, man. I'm here. This is
How have you been?
Yeah, man, I've been great. And this episode, I've been wanting to do one of these for a while. Like, we are in the Star Atlas community, and we haven't done one yet. So this is our first Star Atlas podcast.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, it's a long time coming from for the people who have only found us and know us for the Metaverse podcast. We are also part of Star Atlas. Can you give us like a brief intro into like what Star Atlas is? Because they are connected. This isn't just a total random game.
So Star Atlas is a grand strategy game of SpaceX. Fuck, I need to make this bigger. Hang on.
I almost want you to keep that in there. Of space and
I'm such an old man. I need to make that text bigger. All right. So Star Atlas is a grand strategy game of space exploration, territorial conquest, and political domination, and more. Oh, and more.
And more.
And more.
Well, nice to know that that you're reading over there. But can you give us what Star Atlas is to you? Let's make it a little.
Yeah, so that is the official statement on their website. But let's give our breakdown of it. So imagine a massive sandbox game. Think of like, if you're into those, Grand Theft Auto or Just Cause or some of these other maps that are just kind of endless, and you can go and do different missions and explore and do different things. That's basically what it is. But if you can imagine that you're not limited to one city map, you have the entire galaxy. And so the implications of that is you could basically go anywhere, explore anything, and have any kind of game experience that you could possibly want.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. And we're going to get into some of the things that'll be releasing this year, but also kind of theorycraft about some IP usage. They have some pretty cool stuff that they're doing with their community, so we'll get into it as well. But to preface real fast, so we actually have two versions of Star Atlas being built. We have the Star Atlas Golden Era, or Sage, which is more like you're like overlooking the map, moving your ships around style gameplay. It's similar to like Stellaris. On the other hand, you have your Unreal Engine gameplay, which we're going to get into some of the modules being released here soon for that, being your multiplayer racing, multiplayer dogfights, and also possibly some PvP shooting. We're getting a lot of hints towards that direction. But as far as where these are in development, both Sage is about to release version 0, which will actually start with a treasure hunt. Bringing your ships in, moving around the map, getting used to it. And they're going to drop some pretty valuable prizes there. As far as the Unreal Engine 5 version, we already have some flight. We have the showroom. We have a little bit of racing and dogfighting, but it's like solo play. Multiplayer is coming very, very soon. So that's kind of like where we're at with both of those like Star Atlas games. But like you're saying, it's going to be a massive, massive world. They're building out the game, and then in the end a metaverse, really. And that's what we're going to get into towards the end, which is like IP, because they have some pretty cool rules. And I cannot wait to get into some of that, because they're going to revolutionize this whole genre and this whole metaverse space.
Yeah. And full disclaimer, like, we do not work for Star Atlas. We are not paid by Star Atlas. We are just 100% fanboys.
Dude,
um,
yeah.
but what's happening is, like, traditional games would just keep everything under wraps, under development, and you wouldn't see it until game launch. And what they're doing
Mm,
with Star Atlas is they're bringing us along for the ride. So we actually have been following them for a good year and a half, maybe more,
yeah.
as they've been developing this game. And the great thing is that we have become friends with the people at Star Atlas, even up to the top of, like, the founders that we have engagement on Twitter and socials and things like that. It's a fun process to see this game evolve and to be a part of the community.
Mm.
And I think that that's really exciting. So, for those listening, if you start to do a little dive into it, don't expect that this game is fully developed. We're going along for the ride. And I think that that's the exciting part.
Yeah, no, it really is. And like you're saying, you can come into the Discord, talk to like the community director. You can talk to the CEO in the founders room. They're like very, very open. It's really, really cool to be along for the ride, as you're saying. But speaking of which, they have dropped some major stuff this week. Some like first looks into the multiplayer, or where they're going with racing and some of the features in the Unreal Engine 5 version. Let's start with ground racing, because like I
Mm.
mentioned, they do have a form of racing, but it's kind of, up in the sky a little bit, and and they're adding the multiplayer to this ground racing. So I gotta be honest, as a Star Wars fan, I'm thinking pod racing already. So like I'm thinking, will the bounty hunters be up like in the mountains with their snipers and being
Oh,
able to shoot at
yeah.
us and stuff? Who knows? But you can shoot at your opponents.
Yeah, I saw the leaked footage of it, and it just looks action packed. Like,
Mm,
it
yeah,
looks like thrilling. If you're zooming around in this thing, and let's not forget that VR is coming as well. So not only
that's
would you be able
true.
to race with this high action um, view, but you would put on some glasses and you'd be able to, like, look around as you're flying through these canyons.
Dude, yes, it's going to be so good. I still have to get a VR set to participate in that. I even have to get correct me if I'm wrong, a HOTAS, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I need to get one of those as well. Uh, I plan to do some streaming as far as this racing thing, and I really think this is where content picks up, and this is why I kind of said in the title of this video, but like both in the beginning, this is why Star Alice is going to blow up this year. There's a lot of events that now we can do together with multiplayer, and that brings in a lot of content creators, and that brings in a lot of players, because if I know anything about the Star Atlas community, there's going to be some sick prizes and some sick contests going on.
Yeah, so as well as ground racing, there is dogfighting, and that's player versus player, which I think is going to create some really fun competition. We've already sort of seen that with Supernova Racing. This was a group of Star Atlas enthusiasts that were really waiting for Star Atlas to bring out their racing. But in the meantime, they set up some competitions outside of Star Atlas. And now that we have that, both ground race and dogfighting, I think we're going to see more guilds creating competitions, and they're going to be live streaming. There's a lot of great content creators within the guilds. It's going to get so many eyeballs on it. It's going to bring in traditional gamers as well, which I think
Yeah,
is very important.
yeah. Once we start bringing in the traditional gamers, it'll really explode. But yeah, to your point, I was watching the other day. Forgive me if I miss one, but I believe it was the club, Star Atlas Italia and Bulk had a 3v3 dogfight with a Star Wars game. Currently, Star Atlas dogfighting is single player with an X4. I don't know if it's gone beyond that, but it's rumored to have multiplayer soon. At least that's what the whispers are out there, and I'm sure it's going to go in that direction here. Yeah. So, what do you think about like there's rumored PvP? Because we're seeing already like a few gun images. We have jetpacks, which are cool, but actually make a lot of sense in a PvP type arena.
Yeah.
Like people flying around and then landing, shooting, snipers, blah blah blah. Um, where do you think that's gonna? How's that gonna look?
The beauty of Star Atlas is so many different genres that you could head with this. Like literally,
Mm.
like if you think about the full game when it's out, you will be able to do whatever you want. That's the true definition, I think, of the metaverse. Star Atlas will have
Mm.
everything that you want, whether you want to play a first person shooter or whether you want to just explore in your spaceship, if you want to go to a live concert or a social event, if you want to do mining and crafting and base building, Star Atlas has it all. And I think that when you talk about like player versus player, like first person shooters, look at the success of EV.io, how easy that was for people to jump in and start playing. They didn't need to sign up, they didn't need to create an account, they didn't have to do anything. You could, or you could just visit the website and just jump in and start playing straight away. I think
Hmm.
for Star Atlas, if they did something similar to that, with their graphics, like, oh man, like that that would really reach out and grab a lot of people into this game.
I definitely agree with you. And I think that's going to come before the end of the year. And I think I want to say the last 3 months is when we're going to start to see a massive uptick, but it could come sooner depending on when these things get released. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't, not financial advice or anything like that, but I am kind of expecting that as these things start to pick up and more ships become usable in these mini games in the showroom, ship prices are going to start to go up as well. Once we have some kind of guild establishment, like official, that we can sign up for and also vote on certain directions, we're going to see like the Polis token go up. When we get more of that economy in Sage start at this golden era, we're going to see that Atlas token start to go up a little bit. That's just like where I'm kind of seeing all this. Again, not financial advice, but I'm very, very optimistic of 2023, 2024 Star Atlas.
Yeah, I think it will have its time to shine. It's just a matter of when. And I think that, yeah, you're on the money. Like with the releases of product that they're putting out this year, I think we're going to see some pretty amazing growth.
Okay, now going off that point there, Star Atlas IP. Now, this is what is really going to make Star Atlas explode in 2023 and beyond, because to me, this is where we get that metaverse aspect that we're talking about. If you guys don't know, you're able to come in to Star Atlas and after talking with the team, make an agreement for I'm using this loosely here. There's more involved, but basically, you can use Star Atlas IP in a project up to $1 million of sales. Then after that, you make a further merchandising agreement with them and keep going. So, what do you think of all this archetype? Am I presenting that correctly, or what do you think?
Yeah, you're right. And it does come with a couple of little caveats. Like they want to protect their brand as well. So obviously, they would be screening different things and making sure people aren't using their brand to do anything that would damage that. So just common
Mm.
sense in regards to that and reaching out and contacting, you know, Star Atlas in regards to what you want to do with it, all that sort of stuff. But a good example would be the Bounty Bar. So this is
Yeah.
a fictional place that will be hopefully a real place in Star Atlas, um, and they've got their storyline of this bar in space, and it's tied
Mm.
in with the Star Atlas lore, and they're able to promote both themselves and Star Atlas at the same time.
Yeah, that's a really good example because you could even see them growing, using some of this IP, um, their own liqueurs, mixers, wine, beer, someday as well. And that would be a full company, but they have that agreement with Star Atlas to use, some of their IP. So there's many more like it that we could get into, but I really think that's like what's going to make the difference, because now you have like gaming guilds coming in able to promote their guilds using IP. You have businesses that say like the Bounty Bar or a lot of things that we're doing that we can't say yet, that kind of correlates and works with the Star Atlas brand and universe. So there's a lot of amazing opportunities, and the fact that they're taking such a different approach to it. We've seen in the past like Nintendo and Disney like heavily protecting their IP, like almost to the point that like no to the point that some YouTubers got demonetized or couldn't make videos using that IP, or streamers as well. And it's been a heavily gated, heavily guarded thing for so long. We see this topic being brought up because Mickey Mouse is about to use it's trademark. So what happens then?
Mm.
But when you're entering such a space, and they want you to come in and build with them, it just lines up with everything they've ever said as far as like power to the people and really wanting to build with their community. And I think that's the power of like Web3, and leading a new way forward and showing like
Mm.
a different way to do things. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, I feel like this year they're really relaxing that a little bit. And it makes sense because as a game developer, they want to focus on building the game and
Mm.
recruiting new gamers and bringing new people into the ecosystem. It does take up resources. And they have an army of dedicated fans, such as you and I, that just want to scream out to the world, like, hey, check out Star Alice. This game is amazing. And so they're utilizing that. The people that have a passion for this game, they want to
Mm.
create, they want to put content out there, and they want to share it with the world. And I think it only makes sense to equip those people with the tools to do that. So with Star Atlas relaxing some of this IP this year, what are you excited to see, man? What do you think that we will get from content creators?
Dang, man, yeah, that's a really good question. Let's play it out using like what we talked about in this podcast. So we have these three things releasing most likely on the Unreal Engine side, that being the dogfighting, the ground racing, and possibly the PvP shooting. Now, that's going to bring in actually a lot of, I would say, competitive players, but I think as the players build out and mixing that IP relaxing into it, we're going to actually see a surge, hopefully, in casual in casual players, because those are my people. The people who wake up and have that Star Atlas mug that they put their coffee into. The people who have the Star Atlas playmat and the posters hanging on their wall and cosplay and all those stuff. That's hopefully, I'm going to say my time, because that's the kind of content I want to create, and it's not here yet. So I've had to rely on a lot of like reactions and stuff like that to like news or videos. So I actually think that's coming. I'm
Mm.
not sure if it's, I would say the end of 23 into 24. But I think it's just going to start, piling on itself. So we might see even bigger action in 2024 as far as like the casual gamer. But I think we're going to see a lot of guilds coming in, a lot of gaming guilds that we've already heard of in the very competitive circuits.
Hmm.
Um, I should say like at least maybe one or two I have been eyeing Star Atlas, and if they come in, it's game over. And then what are they going to do with like this IP thing? You know,
Yeah,
like they have
exactly.
access to money. Like, I'm just playing around over here, you know. But they like the stuff that they can do is going to be extraordinary for the growth of Star Atlas.
Yeah, I would love, as you're saying about the cosplay and stuff, I would love to see Star Atlas go to some more gaming events and
Yeah.
different exhibitions and stuff around the world. I'd love, if they can't make it, to empower their already global fan base of players and enthusiasts. I would love to see them
Mm.
empower them to be able to set up displays for Star Atlas and represent Star Atlas. Maybe have some dress up in like you said, different cosplay outfits, and have some gaming computers set up in a stall so
Mm.
people can walk past and experience it. So Star Atlas, if you're listening, we've got fans all around the world. We can represent in Australia, in Norway, all around the world. I think we just need to get this out to people so they can see it. Once they see it, they're going to get hooked, just like we were.
Did we just make a pitch to become brand ambassadors for Star Atlas?
Pretty much. If they
I
want to
think we
pay
did.
us, you know.
No. No, but we're going to have some exciting stuff for people who want to build with Star Atlas. So if you're out there, you want to be a content creator, you want to create a guild, you want to write a story, come get involved with us over in the Star Atlas Discord, or us right here in the comment section.
Yeah.
We're all over. Let us know, of course, what else you would like to see discussed here on the Metaverse podcast. We'll have some exciting episodes coming up here for you guys. Where can they find us, Art?
So you can get us at Metaverse Podcast. We have all our episodes there. You can also link to our socials and any podcast platform that you would like to listen to. We have links up there as well. But as far as Star Atlas goes, if you want to find out more about that, where can people go?
Yeah, you can go to staratlas.com, play.staratlas if you want to jump in. Also on Twitter at Star Atlas. I usually use best practices, so I like to find them on Twitter first and use the links provided there. Because if you just type it into Google, you never know what's going to appear, and I don't trust. This is an interesting space, so it's still here, Wild West Web 3. So thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Metaverse podcast. We appreciate it. Hit that like button for us. Subscribe if this interests you. And we'll see you next week for another episode. Peace, guys.
Cool.
We might have to edit the shit out of that one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big job.
Son of a bitch.